The whole point of this video, anime fan bases be acting like they're in gangs, is the fact that anime fans take too far, right? It was worded very trash. So for that, we apologize.
I want to talk about this before it gets too old, and we know the internet conversations move fast, and I'm already a week late, but here we go. So a week ago, RDCWorld, which are known for their NBA skits and their anime skits, which if you venture in these online communities, I'm sure you've seen at least one. They came under fire after quoting a retweet with a take that divided their community. So the story goes like this. There's a Twitter user by the name of The Cursed One. He retweeted a Meg Thee Stallion fan account that has Meg ranking her top 10 anime at the moment, and she puts My Hero Academia over Jujutsu Kaisen, which made the user in question put out a tweet saying, "No wonder she got shot. She done lost her damn mind." This led to another user named Greed Island Gal stating that there's a reason why I've stuck to ENBY and fem spaces when it comes to ani manga. You nig nerds are actually deranged over an anime opinion, which at that point RDCWorld's tweet was, "Y'all thought we was playing?" with a clip from their new skit talking about how anime fandoms can be like gangs.
Top 5. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. I thought this was top 5.
Oh, shit. Naruto all day over here talking about top 5. Nigga, we the only top 5 over here.
This caused people to state they were feeling unsafe potentially going to DreamCon, a convention that is ran by the group, and the safety of women in male spaces, and even some users going as far as to say they were mocking Meg Thee Stallion for her shooting situation, which I think is a little ridiculous personally. This in turn made RDCWorld delete the original tweet, and they put out a new one stating, "Hey guys, our bad for the last tweet about the anime community. The joke was supposed to be aimed at how extra anime communities can be and not making fun of the Meg situation, which is why we quoted the quote tweet." Which at that point caused people to take sides, with some individuals telling them to stand on business and others thanking them for taking accountability, and that's where we are today. So let's go ahead and get to the favorite part of the video where we read some tweets. So we have Killer Court. She says, "How are y'all gonna make DreamCon feel safe for women after this? Because the replies are not it." Fletcher Flexen says, "How you gonna put that on them like they run the whole incel community? Because it's their convention and the people in their replies are their fans. It's really not that hard to understand." You think these people go out in public and act like this though? As a woman who has been to / goes to cons, 1000% yes. I ain't gonna lie, there be some weirdos at cons, bro. When I seen the dude getting his mouth spit in by the chick at the convention, bro, my stomach was hurting off that. I remember seeing that last year. My stomach was hurting. When they banned that girl, I was doing the golf clap. I ain't gonna lie, because that was just real disgusting. That didn't happen at DreamCon. That happened at a different convention, but that was just the grossest shit I seen, I want to say last year, as far as like some bodily fluid shit like that going on. So what do you want them to do? Say, guys, stop? And then what? Ask to see everyone's Twitter before they get allowed in a DreamCon? I ain't gonna lie, Smokey X04 is asking the real questions. You guys gotta understand that creators cannot control their fan bases. They physically cannot do anything other than tell them to stop, which will change nothing either way. Y'all act like it's so hard to just tweet out, "Hey, stop being weird. Women deserve to feel safe in our community." It's really not that big of an ask. Which then Smokey says, if it was that easy to stop the behavior, they would have done so long ago. That is going to do nothing, and you know it, unless you genuinely believe they do not share the feeling of wanting women to be safe in their community. Which then Grim comes along, he says, "Only in fairyland can you say words and everyone blindly oblige. If only the world was that easy." That's real shit. Then we have another Smokey that shows up named Straw Hat Smokey. He says, "Shoulda stood on business. Never fold." Okay, we got this dude's name is Obi Girth Kenobi. Wow, okay. Taking accountability for a bad joke. It was a joke that they made days ago and had nothing to do with Meg. Their response to the tweet about Meg also has nothing to do with Meg, but only proves the point of the skit that they made days back on how anime fans go overboard. It wasn't a bad joke. They made no reference to Meg. Let me also state that, right? In this entire thing, some people were thinking that they saw what was going on with this and then ran and made a skit for the quote retweet. And that's not the case. Like, I'm telling you, I don't understand why people just can't look at dates and go to a YouTube channel and click to see, okay, did they just make this skit or was this something that they made days prior? It's astounding, but I'm telling you, there were a couple of tweets like that in this reply thread where they were acting like these dudes saw this tweet popping off, all jumped into their cars, went outside, put on their shirts, and did this immediately. Like, I think these brothers got more sense than that when it comes to this, but whatever. Cat Daddy C says, even if it wasn't a bad joke, it's just good to clarify when you see a good amount of people misunderstanding. Then we got Monkey D Booty. She says, if any of you ever wonder why you can't get someone to like you, bookmark this and look at your replies. No one wants you because you're weird. All right, so this is the part of the video I've already been yapping, but we're going to yap way more now. So I feel a couple of different ways about this. As a community head, I understand wanting to direct your community in a certain direction to attract potential future viewers. So for example, I might personally have some black pill ideals in me, but my entire worldview isn't that. So I don't really mention them on the channel because I don't want any of that audience subscribed to me whatsoever. So I get them trying to clear the air and removing what is possibly making some people feel uncomfortable. However, this is the big one. With the nature of the internet, one thing that I know for sure, if it isn't one thing, it's another. So when you bend the knee in any manner, it opens doors to have people attack other facets of what you do just for the sake of control and nothing else. On top of that, it's crazy that I have to say this, but it's clear that the RDC post was a joke in reference to how insane anime debates can be. A prime example was one of my longtime homeboys I've known over for 10 years, my dog Sheikah's. We still get in arguments to this day about manga versus anime, to the point that if I'm watching the anime, right, because this is how I consume. I love just consuming the story as much as possible. But if I'm watching the anime and I catch up to the furthest point in the anime, I will jump over to the manga from that point to continue consuming the story. If I tell him that, 100% we will go back and forth that day over that, right? And I would say we're relatively normal compared to some anime niggas that can sit on Twitter and Discord debating this. Some of it gets very unhinged. Niggas got me scared when I see a 02 profile pic. The terminally online dudes, they gotta disconnect, bro. They gotta take a break because it's like it's not good for the mind, bro. It's not good for the mind in all seriousness. Also, a big part of this is I think people like to look for a problem where there isn't one sometimes, and they'll fabricate a problem. Even in the guy's initial tweet that popped all of this off, where he's responding to Meg's top 10, I don't think it's as bad as some of the replies that he was getting on tweets after that. Like, for example, we got Rotten Milk, which this made me laugh because how crazy it is. She said, I genuinely hope the same thing happens to you and you don't make it. Because he had put another reply up saying it was clearly a joke and that people have been shot and killed in worse ways. I want you to imagine somebody hitting you 5 times in your chest. The corner of your eyes is blackening up, right? Like you're tunnel visioning. Blackening? Come on, Rob. But you're tunnel visioning, right? You're seeing the other side. You're starting to now flash back and see your life flash before your eyes, right? And then in this tweet, she says, I hope you don't make it. And you trying to keep your heart pumping. You asking for God to please keep you alive as you flatline. Rotten Milk is somewhere in America. Like, yeah, fuck him. I'm glad he died. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's really crazy. But it's Twitter, and I feel like there are 2 ways to use Twitter, which it should be 0 ways. I don't think people should use it. But back in the day, way 1 was this way, right? Niggas just came on Twitter and just said the most flagrant shit possible. I'm about to show my age just a tiny bit. But I remember back in the day, VH1 Peanut, me and some friends when we were younger, we would love the dude's tweets. It would just be him crazy shit talking about women, and then he would put at the end, at least I'm not getting cheated on, or something to that effect. Nowadays though, it feels as if somebody sees something on Twitter they dislike. It's as if the tweet in question is invalidating their experience to some extent, and they get on some Blood Meridian judge type shit. Whatever in creation exists without my knowledge, it exists without my consent, because they are about to destroy whatever you've built. That's how they behave. And it's completely psychotic. So that is the first part of how I feel. Now, we talking about some psycho stuff, right? Let Rob put on this tinfoil hat. Let Rob become the psycho. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud, man. I'm going to keep it a whole bean. This is the part where somebody's like, man, I really like this vid. This RP Kenpachi guy, pretty cool. And then I'm gonna say this next couple parts, and niggas like, he lost me, fuck him, I'm out of here. Dislike, catch this dislike, nigga. Hey, it is what it is, right? I'm looking around like y'all can see me. Meg got shot due to the consequences of her own actions of being a drunker fool.
You're not the real heroes. I'm the real hero.
I know niggas don't like facts, and whenever you mention these shits, it makes niggas skin boil, the meat falling off the bone like some pulled pork. Meg and Kelsey was out there fighting like they was in Mortal Kombat 1, because Tori apparently got that log on them. The gun was pink. There was weave, hair, and nails out there. Meg is 5'10", Kelsey's 5'1". Who do you think is really winning that fight? Let's keep it a bean. Also, since we like using real life experiences, I'm gonna use mine in this moment. The amount of women growing up that were friends from the sandbox and don't talk to each other anymore because of some pole is crazy. Even guys that snaked each other sometimes, they get on better terms, right? You gotta give them some time to cool down. As long as there's not a woman involved, they usually come back together and they'll be cool, right? And I'm so committed to this point that I was in the shower thinking about this, and I was able to draw up 3 different girl relationships where you take a pair of girls, you throw in some pole, and they've been friends since the sandbox, and now they act like they don't even exist anymore. But for this scenario, shout out to my boy Josh, because he always be in my comment section. That's one of my IRL buddies. He knows who I'm talking about with this. And I hope that none of my online comments affect my personal life, even though they have in the past. But here we go. So let's say we got 2 girls, right? Let's call them AA, right? And AA, they were friends since the sandbox, right? So let's say A1 gets a boyfriend, right? And let's say A2, who might have been the chubby friend, lost a little weight. That thing is really thangin'. So she start letting A1's boyfriend know, like, hey, Mr. Postman, why don't you come climb up in my chimney? Why don't you come beat my guts in from the back, right? Now, some girls that have been friends since the sandbox, a dude who both of them probably wouldn't even claim right now, they wouldn't even want to claim him as a body anymore, has ripped a friendship apart. A2 might have a couple kids, while A1 on the villain arc, every time I get on Instagram, she got like 20 Instagram stories on her villain shit. And these were 2 chicks that was inseparable. I don't understand it, but for some reason with this particular case, it seems like it can only exist in black and white. I'm telling you, I don't understand it. And if you don't look at this case in black or white, it's like people become rabid. The only way you can look at this case is Tori just lost his mind. The little midget lost his mind. Napoleon lost his mind. He grabbed the blick and he just let it rip. I refuse to look at this case in that. I'm sorry. My final thought, like, just look around the scenario, okay? We got Partisan Fontaine, Mr. Oofy Doofy himself. He's coming out here dropping whole diss tracks talking about this is for Meg the person, not Meg the Stallion. When I don't really feel like it took a scientist to realize, like, in that scenario, 1 + 1 = 2. But I guess for him, he needed it really spelled out. He had to wait until the girl got in the courtroom before he was like, hold up. You was letting all these niggas hit, but I was the Oofy Doofy that wife? Yes, Oofy Doofy. Yeah, you were the one that wife, bruh. Her best friend Kelsey, who again, she was cool with, she said they don't talk anymore. And now one nigga is going to lose 6 to 7 years of his life sitting in a box. Now, hear me out. I know, like, I'm asking them to hear me out, and I just said all this. I've been talking spicy. I'm asking them to hear me out. But if you are here, hear me out. I'm not saying that Tori isn't guilty of something, right? I'm not saying that he's not guilty of something. The thing this brother is guilty of is lack of dick control. This is why dick control is so important. Should you be out here throwing it? Should you be hitting her and her best friend? Probably not. If you hitting the best friend and then you hitting her, should you get around the white girl, maybe one of the biggest white girls in America, Kylie Jenner, and decide that Kylie is going to get a taste of that log as well? Which, let's keep it a bean, that scenario made the whole party spiral out of control. But some of my black sisters don't want to acknowledge that, hey man, sometimes sisters fight over niggas. I don't know if it's because he's a short nigga. They don't want to be like, hey man, we can't imagine these bad chicks fighting over that short motherfucker. I don't know if it's that, but I mean, Academics has a video he just uploaded yesterday, and he's the guy that definitely has more insiders in the industry than me. I don't have any industry insiders. I'm just a dude yapping online. But he even is detailing some of the shenanigans that Meg Thee Stallion is on in the music industry. You should check it out after this, right? So I'm not saying that we can't be sympathetic to what happened to her. It's like, yo, this was started out on some RDCWorld, and I done transitioned talking about Meg Thee Stallion. I'm gonna bring it back around. Trust me. Just let me cook. I'm not saying that we're not sympathetic to her situation, but it's not black and white, right? And for some reason, a joke that just even has references of a gunfire in it isn't some creators making fun of Meg, bro. Can I tell you what makes me feel crazy when I see tweets like this? The spin that you have to do in your mind to make it make sense for you that they were somehow making fun of Meg Thee Stallion for what happened to her. When in reality, if you've ever talked anime and manga with friends, man, sometimes that shit can go left, bro. Especially depending on what you're talking about, it could really make something in your brain start saying like, yo, hit him in the jaw, dude. Like, it could really make your brain start saying that. So again, no one's making fun of her situation, right? While I might have a toxic outlook on what happened with the Meg situation, I don't think RDCWorld was looking at it like that. And I think people trying to like look for a reason to, hey, are you making women feel safe? I don't think I'm going to Dream Convention. Like, you're trying to get niggas up out of here. It almost makes me wonder if you held ill intentions to these guys and this is the excuse that now you're looking for to say like, see, I told you, time to get them gone. That's my thoughts on it. That's all I have to say. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I'll catch you guys later.
I'm done. I am done apologizing. I am done being persecuted for my strength. You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am because you need me. You need me to save you.